Hello everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is special episode 125, the first special episode of 2019. We're going to talk about a certain type of theropod dinosaur, a meat-eating dinosaur, and that theropod dinosaur is Eotyrannus. And so here's a size chart of Eotyrannus. Some information about Eotyrannus. Eotyrannus means dawn tyrant in Latin. Length is 15 feet or 5 meters. Height 6 feet or approximately 2 meters. Weight 300 to 500 pounds. Lived 127 to 121 million years ago in the early Cretaceous and found in England by Steve Hutt in 2001. So pretty much 18 years ago. So on the upper left corner, you actually have the map of the England area, or the United Kingdom area, and you can see where England is highlighted in red. And then on the bigger picture right there is the skeleton of Eotyrannus. And now Eotyrannus is not a fully complete skeleton, as you can see on the top part of this skeleton picture here. Is that you can see is that the parts of the skull have been found, a few vertebrae, nearly complete arm, and a nearly complete lower leg. And so there's not much to go on of Eotyrannus. And so Eotyrannus is a partially complete skeleton. There has been some teeth found in the rock formations of where Eotyrannus is found. But we're still not sure if there is a complete skeleton out there, but you never know, there could be. More information about Eotyrannus. So Eotyrannus belongs in the group of dinosaurs called Coelurosauridae. And so that includes all your tyrannosaurs, your therizinosaurs, your ornithomimids, your oviraptorids, and your dromaeosaurs and troodontids, and even modern birds. And so that's where Eotyrannus is part of, and that Coelurosaur family that Eotyrannus is part of is Tyrannosauridae, and so it is part of the Tyrannosaur family. The holotype specimen might be a juvenile, so it is still up for debate whether or not the holotype specimen is a juvenile or an adult, and there has been some controversy of how big Eotyrannus can really get, and so that is a really big question out there in paleontology, especially for that species. And it is closely related to Duratyrant and Stoxosaurus, and so that's the dinosaurs that would be closely related to. So Duratyrant and Stoxosaurus are part of the Tyrannosaur family as well, so you would actually get the idea of where the Tyrannosaur family, the part of the Tyrannosaur family that Eotyrannus is part of. It is slenderly built, and so it is going to be pretty fast. And its top speed is going to be approximately between 25 to 35 miles per hour. So it is a very fast-moving theropod dinosaur. So it would have very, very, very fast animal. So the environment in Eotyrannus is from, it would be warm and humid, no grass. Some of the first flowers actually were around. Conifers and ferns were very abundant at that time, and of course other animals that were living around at that time. Insects, reptiles, amphibians, mammals, and of course dinosaurs. And so there's plenty of pterosaurs, part of the reptile family, even crocodiles, part of the reptile family. Some of the first types of birds would actually be roaming, or would actually be in the trees. They'd be small, and of course birds are considered dinosaurs, so they could be part of the dinosaur family. So there's plenty of things out there that would have been found alongside with Eotyrannus. The predators and prey, and so the predators the only predator that I know of that is possibly living alongside Eotyrannus is Baryonyx. And so Baryonyx would actually be the Spinosaur that would actually be living near the lakes and rivers of England and those types of areas in Europe. And so it would be just basically eating some fish, some smaller dinosaurs, that sort of thing. The prey that Eotyrannus would actually be going after is juvenile iguanodon and even Hypsilophodon. And so those animals would be pretty fast. And so if you're going to be a predator that relies on speed, you're going to be catching very fast-moving prey. So I would think Eotyrannus is actually a pursuit predator. So the upper picture right there, that's Hypsilophodon, so it is kind of almost looks like Dryosaurus or Leolinosaura, and so you can actually definitely see is that it's going to be a small, fast-moving dinosaur, so it relies on speed. It does not have any armor, it doesn't have any spikes or anything like that, clubs on its body, so it pretty much relies on speed and also possibly lives in herds or small flocks. And then on the bottom picture, here's Iguanodon, one of the first dinosaurs discovered in paleontology history. And so you can definitely tell that the main defense I would call it the secondary defense of Iguanodon is the thumb spike. So it could actually stab its predators, so that way it can inflict nasty wounds. But the tail and possibly speed and certain muscle power, I should say, would actually be the first line of defense for Iguanodon. In the extinction of Eotyrannus, it was probably due to climate change, and so sea levels rose, so the sea levels were getting higher and higher and higher at the particular time because there was no ice caps during the time of the dinosaurs. So no glaciers at the North Pole or South Pole, so it was just pretty warm. Europe actually became scattered islands. So as the sea levels rose, Europe became just a bunch of scattered islands. There are some small islands, there's some large islands, and so you actually will find a lot of limestone that is actually found in Europe. And so you would find a lot of limestone in certain spots of Europe. And where Eotyrannus is found in parts of England is on the east coast of England, and so that's pretty much where it would actually be found. Its prey disappeared, and also new predators showed up, and so some of the new predators that were kind of roaming around were kind of like basal forms or Carcharodontosaurs, and even some of ancestors that of dromaeosaurs that would actually start appearing. So here's a map of early Cretaceous 120 million years ago. So England would actually be kind of right around here, this tiny little island that is almost right next door to North America right here, and also part of Eastern Europe right here. So that's where England is going to be, and so it would actually just be pretty close to these types of islands and even those sorts of places. So you can kind of get an idea of that Tyrannosaurs, since that most Tyrannosaurs actually started out in Asia and they kind of migrated towards the European areas and then ultimately got into North America. And so you would think land bridges ultimately connected those journey paths for the Tyrannosaurs. And so that's going to be pretty interesting, is like how Tyrannosaurs ultimately got to North America. And so I think probably is that they have ancestors that lived in North America and ancestors living in Asia, and there was possibly some ancestors living in Europe. So I would think there's possibly more Tyrannosaurs out there in Europe. So you never know, there could be some Tyrannosaurs that were living in Europe. We just haven't found them yet. And so that's going to be interesting. It's like whether or not we have found more Tyrannosaurs in Europe. So the next episode would actually be on January 18th, 2019, and that would be a Q&A episode. So if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you can actually post your questions on the wall or in the comment section. Remember, keep your questions short to the point. You could also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you. And also, for younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you could have for good education. It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.